The threats are too fast, too big, and too widespread for any of us to address them alone.
That is FBI Director James Comey, who is going to be in the spotlight today. Karen Travers, ABC News White House correspondent, joins us. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning. Jim Comey on the hot seat before the House Intelligence Committee today. And this is part of the broader look at Russia's election interference. This is one of several congressional committees that's looking into this issue. And though the big headline, though, that we're expecting today from Director Comey is that he will go public with what he's been saying privately to congressional leaders in recent days, that there was no Obama administration wiretap of Trump Tower, despite what the president says and continues to insist is true.
All right, Karen Travers, explain to me, Director Comey finds himself in the midst of another firestorm in Washington, D.C. I thought the FBI was not supposed to comment on ongoing investigations, and here, just a few months later, he's
Right.
commenting on another FBI investigation.
Well, and this is something that Democrats will say, you know, if he says today he can't comment on the Russia interference investigation because of an ongoing investigation, you know, they'll say, well, that was interesting because you certainly commented on the Clinton email investigation after, you know, back right before the election when it was reopened because of the new information about the private email server. But here's what we know. Sources say that Director Comey is concerned that the president's comments about the wiretap create an impression that the FBI did something illegal, and they want to nip this in the bud, essentially. So while he might fall back on the ongoing investigations when it comes to the broader topic and the connections or potential connections between Trump associates and Russia, specifically on the president's tweet about that wiretap, he wants to come out and set the record.
Why is it taking him 3 weeks to come out and say this?
Well, he, as we know, wanted the Department of Justice to put out a statement right after those tweets, which was now coming up on 2 weeks ago. He wanted DOJ to say that the FBI says that this is not true. The Justice Department did not do that.
Karen Travers, you were there. Was it Friday that the Chancellor of Germany was there?
Yes.
It seems like it was 6 weeks ago. And of all the controversy, they didn't shake hands. How much of a big deal is that they didn't shake hands and they kind of snubbed each other?
That first meeting when they were sitting in the Oval Office was just incredibly tense. There, you know, a little bit of back and forth of whether or not the German chancellor was asking to shake his hand and the president didn't hear her or chose to not do it. But you could clearly see that there was no love lost between the two of them. And later then when they had that press conference and the president made what officials say was a joke about, you know, they have something in common. It turns out that they do have something in common, that of course, Angela Merkel's phones were tapped by the NSA back during the Obama administration. That fell over pretty flat with the chancellor. She looked at the president, looked back at her press corps and her staff, and didn't really even crack a smile. I mean, the tension, very clear. But they have other opportunities in the next couple of months, some world leader summits, including one that Merkel is hosting in Germany, where they can work on the relationship.
Yes, maybe she can go down and play golf down in Florida with him. And then what are we hearing on the health care front? Is there going to be a vote in the House on Thursday?
Thursday, that's the plan, though. Republican leadership was telling their caucus, basically, don't book any flights for late that night. You know, members try to get out of town as soon as they can after votes end, and that usually means a Thursday evening heading back to their districts. But they were told, prepare to stick around. Don't get out of town that night. Whether or not that's a sign of they think that they're going to be wrangling votes up until the last second, we'll see. It could be a late vote, though.
You got the Gorsuch nomination today, and if you need any more gasoline on the fire, George Conway, who is Kellyanne Conway's husband, has just been tapped for a Department of Justice job.
Yes, he will be leading the Department of Justice Civil Division, which means he'll be in charge of enforcing laws preventing discrimination. He's a prominent Republican lawyer. He's litigated several high-profile cases in federal and state court. And this position would put him in charge of overseeing the administration's legal conflicts, which could be the travel ban, which is brewing in court right now. This position would require Senate confirmation, so I think we'll hear a lot more about George Conway from Capitol Hill as that comes up.
Karen Travers, keep your head on a swivel. ABC News White House correspondent. Karen, have a good week. Thanks.
Thanks, you too.
625.